3 months had passed since Lisa returned to Earth. The alliance with the Crytheon had been formalized, signed by both governments in a ceremony broadcast across both worlds. Joint military exercises were underway. Human engineers were learning Crytheon technology, while Crytheon strategists studied human tactics. It was messy and complicated, but it was working. Lisa stood in the command center of the newly established Joint Defense Headquarters, studying the holographic display that showed the border regions. Red markers indicated where Void Fleet activity had been detected. There were more markers every week. The threat was not theoretical anymore. It was real and getting closer. "Commander Grant," a voice called. She turned to see Admiral Peterson approaching with several other officers. "We have received new intelligence from Crytheon scouts. The Void Fleet has destroyed another colony. This time it was a joint human Crytheon research station." Lisa felt her stomach drop. How many casualties? Total: 300 humans, 500 Crytheon. No survivors. They did not even have time to evacuate. Peterson's face was grim. The attack lasted less than 10 minutes. Whatever weapons these things are using, they are devastatingly effective. Dravik entered the command center, now wearing a modified uniform that marked him as an officer in the Joint Defense Force. Over the past months, he had become a familiar sight at headquarters. Some humans were still nervous around him, but most had grown to respect the massive warrior. "I heard the news," Dravik said. "The research station was run by a friend of mine, a scientist named Kral. He believed that our two species working together could achieve great things." His voice was heavy. He was right. But now he is dead. Lisa placed a hand on Dravik's arm, a gesture that would have been unthinkable months ago. "We will honor his memory by making sure his death means something. By stopping the Void Fleet before they can kill anyone else." The holographic display updated with new information. A tactical officer spoke up. "We have analyzed the attack patterns. The Void Fleet targets population centers and research facilities. They seem to be avoiding purely military installations." "That makes no sense," another officer said. "If they want to conquer us, they should be targeting our military first." Lisa studied the pattern, her mind working. "Unless they do not want to conquer us. What if they want to destroy us? Eliminate us completely?" The room fell silent. It was a terrifying thought. President Martinez entered the command center with Warlord Thrace. The two leaders had developed a working relationship based on mutual respect. They did not always agree, but they listened to each other. "What is the current situation?" Martinez asked. Peterson briefed her on the latest attack. Martinez's expression grew darker with each word. When he finished, she looked at the holographic display for a long moment. "How long until they reach Earth or Kratheos?" she asked. "Based on their current trajectory and speed, approximately 6 weeks until they enter the inner systems," Lisa said. "Though they could change course at any time." Thrace spoke up. "The Crytheon battle fleet is assembling at the border. We have 200 warships ready to engage. The human fleet is joining us with 100 ships. Together we have a formidable force, but will it be enough?" Martinez asked the question everyone was thinking. "Unknown," Thrace admitted. "We have never seen these weapons before. We do not know their full capabilities, but we must try. Retreat is not an option." Lisa had been thinking about this problem for weeks. "Madam President, Warlord Thrace, I have a proposal. Instead of waiting for them to attack us, what if we attack them first, on our terms at a location of our choosing?" Peterson frowned. "That is extremely risky. We would be committing our entire fleet to one battle." "Every option is risky," Lisa countered. "But if we fight defensively, we are reacting to their moves. If we attack first, we control the engagement. We choose the battlefield. We set the trap." "What kind of trap?" Martinez asked. Lisa manipulated the holographic display, showing a system near the border. "This system has a dense asteroid field. Good cover for smaller ships. The Void Fleet has shown a preference for open space battles. If we can lure them into the asteroids, it negates some of their advantages. Human and Crytheon fighters can use the cover while the larger ships provide long-range support." Dravik nodded slowly. "It is a good strategy. Very human. Use the environment as a weapon." Thrace considered it. "The Crytheon traditionally fight in open battle, ship to ship. But I have learned that tradition is not always wise. If this tactic gives us an advantage, we should use it." "There is another element," Lisa said. "We need bait. Something to draw the Void Fleet to the asteroid field. Something they cannot resist attacking." "Like what?" Peterson asked. Lisa took a breath. A joint human Crytheon colony ship, unarmed, apparently helpless. They have targeted research stations and colonies. They seem drawn to concentrated populations. We fake a colony ship, fill it with remote-controlled systems to make it look occupied, and position it near the asteroid field. When the Void Fleet comes to destroy it, we spring the trap. The room erupted in discussion. Some officers thought it was brilliant. Others thought it was too dangerous. Martinez held up her hand for silence. "It is risky," the president said, "but Commander Grant is right. We cannot simply wait for them to pick us apart piece by piece. I approve this plan. Begin preparations immediately." Over the next 4 weeks, the combined human and Crytheon forces prepared for the battle. Engineers modified ships for asteroid field combat. Pilots trained in the complex flying required to navigate through dense debris. The fake colony ship was constructed and filled with technology that would mimic life signs and energy signatures. Lisa found herself working 18-hour days, coordinating between human and Crytheon forces, solving problems as they arose. It was exhausting, but she felt energized by the challenge. This was what she had trained for her entire career. Katie was not happy about her mother's long hours, but Lisa made time every night to tuck her daughter into bed and tell her stories. Katie was fascinated by the Crytheon, and Lisa found herself telling tales about Dravik and other aliens she had met. "Mommy, are you going to fight the bad aliens?" Katie asked one night. Lisa hesitated. She did not want to lie. "Yes, baby. I am going to be in command of the defense fleet. It is my job to keep everyone safe. Will you come back? I will do everything I can to come back. I promise." Katie was quiet for a moment. "Dravik will protect you. He is big and strong, and he likes you." Lisa smiled. "He does like me. And I like him too. He is a good friend." "I am glad humans and Crytheons are friends now," Katie said sleepily. "It is better than being enemies." "Yes, baby. It is much better." The day of the battle arrived too quickly. Lisa stood on the bridge of the Earth defense ship Liberty, the flagship of the human fleet. Around her, crew members worked at their stations checking weapons, shields, communications. Everyone knew what was at stake. Dravik was stationed on a Crytheon battleship nearby. They had said their goodbyes that morning. Either of them had spoken of the possibility that they might not survive. Warriors did not dwell on such things. The fake colony ship was in position near the asteroid field. The human and Crytheon fleets were hidden among the asteroids waiting. Now came the hardest part. Waiting for the enemy to arrive. Hours passed. Lisa watched the sensors looking for any sign of the Void Fleet. The bridge was quiet, tense. Every minute felt like an hour, then the sensors lit up. Multiple contacts appearing at the edge of the system. Lisa's heart began to pound. "Contacts confirmed," the sensor officer reported. 15 large vessels. Configuration matches descriptions of the Void Fleet. They are heading directly for the colony ship. "All ships prepare for combat," Lisa ordered. "Wait for my signal. Let them get close to the colony ship. We need them committed before we spring the trap." The Void Fleet ships moved with eerie precision. They were black, seeming to absorb light rather than reflect it. As they got closer, Lisa could see they had no visible weapons ports or engine housings. They were smooth, alien, wrong. The lead Void Fleet ship opened fire on the colony ship. Beams of sickly green energy lanced out, tearing through the hull. The colony ship exploded in a satisfying fireball. The technology inside made it look like thousands of people had just died. The Void Fleet ship slowed, apparently savoring their victory. They were in position, surrounded by asteroids, right where Lisa wanted them. "All ships engage. Execute attack pattern Delta." Lisa's voice rang out across all channels. The asteroids came alive with weapons fire. Human and Crytheon ships emerged from hiding, unleashing everything they had: missiles, energy beams, kinetic projectiles. The combined firepower was overwhelming. Several Void Fleet ships were destroyed immediately, caught by surprise. But the others reacted with frightening speed. They returned fire with those green energy beams, cutting through shields like paper. The human destroyer Valiant exploded. A Crytheon cruiser lost power and began to drift. "All fighters launch." "Attack pattern Gamma," Lisa ordered. Hundreds of small fighters poured out of the larger ships, swarming through the asteroid field like angry insects. The Void Fleet ships were large and powerful, but they were less effective against small, fast-moving targets hiding among the asteroids. The battle became chaos. Ships weaving between asteroids. The diplomatic ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel, and Earth appeared in the view screen. Lisa pressed her hand against the window, her throat tight with emotion. The blue and white sphere had never looked more beautiful. She had not been sure she would ever see it again. "Your homeworld is very blue," Dravik said, standing beside her. "Krythios is mostly red and brown. So much water must make for interesting weather." "It does," Lisa said, smiling. "We have storms that can flatten buildings. But the water also gives us life. Most of Earth is covered in oceans." The communication system beeped. A voice came through in English. "Unidentified vessel, this is Earth Defense Station Bravo. State your identification and purpose." Lisa moved to the communication panel. "This is Commander Lisa Grant, diplomatic envoy returning from Krythion space. I am aboard a Krythion diplomatic vessel. We come in peace and request permission to land at Capital City Spaceport." There was a long pause. Lisa could imagine the confusion on the other end. A human on a Krythion ship asking permission to land. It probably seemed like a trap. Finally, the voice returned, now sounding more senior. "Commander Grant, this is Admiral Peterson of Earth Defense Command. We had given you up for dead. Can you provide authentication code Delta 7? Lisa rattled off a series of numbers from memory. Another pause. Authentication confirmed. "Commander, please explain your situation. Are you under duress?" "No, Admiral. I am returning with a Krythion diplomatic delegation. We have negotiated an alliance. I have much to report, but it needs to be done in person. This is too important for a simple transmission. Hold position. I need to contact the President." The line went silent. Lisa waited, her heart pounding. This was the moment that would determine everything. If Earth rejected the alliance, all her work would be for nothing. But if they accepted, humanity would gain a powerful ally against the coming threat. 15 minutes later, Peterson came back on the line. "Commander Grant, you are cleared to land. The President wants to meet with you immediately upon arrival. Be advised we are scrambling fighters to escort you in. No offense intended to your guests, but we need to be cautious." "Understood, Admiral. We will comply with all security measures." 12 human fighter ships appeared on the view screen, taking positions around the Krythion vessel. Lisa saw Dravik tense slightly. "They are not attacking," she assured him. "This is an honor guard protection. They are showing respect." "Interesting. Krythion would see this as a threat, a show of force." "Humans see it as both," Lisa admitted. "We are cautious, but we are also hopeful." The ship descended through the atmosphere. Lisa watched as clouds parted to reveal the landscape below. Green forests, sprawling cities, networks of roads connecting everything. Home. She was really home. Capital City Spaceport was massive, designed to handle ships from Earth's small fleet. The Krythion vessel was larger than most of the ships there, and it drew attention as it landed. Lisa could see crowds gathering beyond the security fences, people pointing and recording with their devices. "Your people are curious about us," Dravik observed. "They have never seen a Krythion before. Not in person. Until recently, your species was just a name in reports. A distant threat. Now you are real. That changes everything." The ship landed with a gentle thud. Lisa stood and smoothed down her uniform. The Krythion had provided her with a new one, since her old uniform had been torn and bloody. It felt strange to wear something made by alien hands, but it fit well enough. "Are you ready?" she asked Dravik. The massive warrior nodded. "I am ready to see your world, Commander, and to meet your leaders." The landing ramp lowered. Lisa stepped out first, squinting in the bright sunlight. It felt different than the sun on the Krythion ship. Warmer, more familiar. She took a deep breath of Earth air and felt something relax in her chest that had been tight for weeks. A group of officials waited at the bottom of the ramp. Admiral Peterson was there, looking older than Lisa remembered. Beside him stood President Martinez, a stern woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. Several military officials and diplomats flanked them. But Lisa's eyes found one person in particular. Her sister Jenny stood at the edge of the group, and holding Jenny's hand was a small girl with brown hair and wide eyes, Katie. Lisa's professional composure cracked. Tears filled her eyes. She wanted to run to her daughter, to scoop her up and never let go. But duty came first. She forced herself to walk down the ramp slowly, properly, and then Dravik emerged behind her. The crowd gasped. Cameras flashed. Several security personnel reached for their weapons before Admiral Peterson raised his hand to stop them. Dravik stood at his full height, 9 feet of scaled muscle and alien presence. But he kept his forearms at his sides, non-threatening. He had practiced this moment during the journey, learning how to appear peaceful despite his warrior nature. Lisa reached the bottom of the ramp and saluted Admiral Peterson. "Sir, reporting back from diplomatic mission to Cretheon space." Peterson returned the salute. "At ease, Commander. It is damn good to see you alive." He looked past her to Dravik. "And you brought a friend. This is Champion Dravik. He serves as both my personal guard and as an ambassador for the Cretheon people." Lisa kept her voice formal, professional. "Sir, I have negotiated an alliance with the Cretheon, but there's also a significant threat that we must discuss immediately." President Martinez stepped forward. "Commander Grant, welcome home. Your courage and sacrifice have not gone unnoticed. We have much to discuss, but first I think someone else needs your attention." The president gestured to Katie, who was tugging on Jenny's hand. Jenny let go and Katie ran forward. Lisa forgot about protocol. She dropped to her knees and caught her daughter in a tight hug. "Mommy," Katie said, her voice muffled against Lisa's shoulder. "You came back. Jenny said you might not come back, but I knew you would. I am sorry I was gone so long, baby. I am so sorry." Lisa held Katie tight, breathing in the smell of her daughter's hair. "But I am home now. I am home." Katie pulled back and looked up at Dravik with wide eyes. "Is that an alien?" "Yes, his name is Dravik. He is a friend." Katie considered this seriously. Then she walked up to Dravik and looked way up at him. "Hello, Dravik. Thank you for bringing my mommy home." Dravik looked down at the small human child. His expression softened in a way Lisa had never seen before. "Hello, small human Katie. Your mother is very brave. You should be proud of her." "I am proud," Katie said firmly. Then she ran back to Lisa and grabbed her hand. "Can we go home now?" "Soon, baby. First, Mommy has some important work to do." President Martinez smiled. "Take an hour, Commander. Spend time with your daughter. The fate of humanity can wait 60 minutes. She looked at Dravik. "Ambassador Dravik, would you like to accompany them, or would you prefer to begin discussions?" "I would like to see how humans live with their families," Dravik said. "If that is permitted, of course. Security will accompany you, but you are welcome." Martinez's eyes held a calculating look. An ambassador should understand the people he is allying with. Lisa, Katie, Jenny, and Dravik made an unusual group as they walked through the spaceport. Security personnel followed at a discreet distance. People stared and whispered, but no one approached. Katie held Lisa's hand tightly, chattering about everything that had happened while Lisa was gone. They went to a small cafe near the spaceport. It was the kind of normal, everyday place that Lisa had dreamed about during her captivity. They sat at an outdoor table and Lisa ordered coffee and a sandwich. Food had never tasted so good. Dravik sat carefully on a reinforced chair, studying everything around him. The other customers, the buildings, the vehicles passing by. Katie was less intimidated by him now, asking questions about his scales and how many arms he had. "Does it hurt when you get cut?" Katie asked. "Sometimes," Dravik admitted. "Your mother hurt me quite badly in our fight, but I was proud to be injured by such a skilled warrior." Katie looked at Lisa with new respect. "You hurt him? But he is so big. Size is not everything, baby. Sometimes being smart is more important than being strong." Jenny leaned close to Lisa and whispered, "What really happened up there? The news said you were taken prisoner. Then we heard nothing for weeks. We thought you were dead." "I almost was," Lisa said quietly. "But I survived. And I made something good come from it. I will explain everything later, but Jenny, what I did up there, it might save millions of lives." "I believe you," Jenny said. "You always were the brave one in our family." The hour passed too quickly. Soon it was time to return to the government buildings for the real discussions. Katie did not want to let go of Lisa's hand. "I have to go work now, baby. But I promise, this time I will come home every night. I am not leaving Earth again for a long time. Promise?" "Promise." Katie reluctantly let go. Jenny took her hand, leading her away. Lisa watched them go, her heart aching. But there was work to be done. Important work. In the conference room, Lisa presented everything she had learned. The alliance with the Cretheon, the threat of the Void Fleet, the need for immediate military cooperation. President Martinez and her advisors listened carefully, asking questions, challenging assumptions. Dravik spoke as well, providing the Cretheon perspective. His presence made the threat real in a way that reports could not. This was not some distant danger. This was real, immediate, and Lisa walked through the corridors of the Cretheon warship with Dravik at her side. True to his word, the champion had stationed himself outside her medical room and had not left her side since. Other Cretheon they passed would stop and stare. Some would bow their heads slightly. Lisa was still getting used to the attention. The meeting room was large and circular, with a table made of dark metal in the center. Warlord Thrace was already there, along with several other Cretheon that Lisa had not met before. They wore different markings than the warriors, symbols that indicated they were leaders or advisors. "Commander Grant," Thrace said, gesturing to a seat that had been modified for human size. "Welcome. These are my senior council members. They will help us build this new alliance between our peoples." Lisa sat down carefully. Her ribs still hurt, but she could manage. Dravik took position behind her chair, standing at attention like a guard. His presence was comforting. An older Cretheon with gray scales spoke first. "I am Council Elder Vex. I must be honest, Commander. Many of us doubted that this meeting would happen. We thought you would die in the arena like all the others. Your survival has forced us to reconsider many assumptions." "I understand your doubts," Lisa said. "My own people had doubts too. They sent me here not knowing if I would return, but I believe both our species benefit from working together rather than fighting." Another council member, this one with blue markings on her scales, leaned forward. "I am Tactical Advisor Kresh. I have studied human military history since your victory. Your species has a pattern. You often win battles you should lose. How?" Lisa thought about how to answer. "Humans learn to adapt quickly. When one strategy does not work, we try another. We also have something we call determination. It means we refuse to give up even when the situation looks hopeless. We would rather die trying than surrender." "That was clear in the arena," Kresh said. "But adaptation and determination are not enough against superior technology and numbers. Yet your history shows you have defeated larger forces many times. We use what you might call unconventional tactics," Lisa explained. "We do not always fight the way our enemies expect. We look for weaknesses. We use the environment. We attack supply lines instead of armies. We make our enemies uncertain and afraid." Vex made a rumbling sound. This is what concerns some council members. If humans can defeat larger forces through trickery and unconventional tactics, how do we know you will not use these same tactics against us? It was a fair question. Lisa met Vex's eyes directly. "Because we believe in keeping our promises. If we make an alliance with the Cretheon, we will honor it. Human history also shows that we are extremely loyal to our allies. We have fought wars to protect species weaker than ourselves. We have sacrificed our own people to keep our promises," Thrace spoke up. "This is true. We have studied the human conflict you call World War II. Humans traveled across entire oceans to fight for the freedom of other humans they had never met. This speaks to a strong sense of honor and duty." "Exactly," Lisa said. "We propose an alliance based on mutual respect and mutual benefit. The Cretheon are strong warriors with advanced technology. Humans are adaptable and innovative. Together we would be much stronger than we are apart." Kresh tapped her claws on the table thoughtfully. "What specific terms do you propose?" Lisa pulled out a small device from her pocket. It projected a holographic display showing star charts. "First, we establish clear borders. No more conflicts over disputed systems. Second, we create a joint defense pact. If either species is attacked by a third party, the other comes to their aid. Third, we establish trade agreements. Humans have resources the Cretheon need. You have technology we need. And fourth," Vex asked, "cultural exchange. We send teachers, scientists, artists to each other's worlds. We learn about each other. Understanding prevents fear. Fear causes wars." The council members looked at each other. There was silence for a moment. Then Thrace spoke. "These terms are acceptable as a starting point. But I must tell you something, Commander. There is a reason we are willing to move so quickly on this alliance." Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. "What reason?" Thrace stood and manipulated the holographic display. The star chart shifted, focusing on a region far from both human and Cretheon space. 3 months ago, we lost contact with one of our outer colonies. We sent a battle group to investigate. Only one ship returned. The commander reported that the entire colony had been destroyed. Not conquered, destroyed. Every building turned to rubble. Every Cretheon killed. The image shifted again, showing what looked like battle damage. The attacking force used weapons we have never seen before. They did not try to communicate. They simply attacked and destroyed everything. Lisa studied the images. Who are they? We do not know. The survivors called them the Void Fleet, black ships that seemed to absorb light. They appeared from nowhere, destroyed the colony, and disappeared. Thrace looked at Lisa seriously. We believe they are moving this direction, toward both our territories. The pieces fell into place in Lisa's mind. That is why you need allies. You are preparing for a war. Yes, Thrace said simply. The Crithion are powerful, but we are not invincible. We need allies who think differently than we do, who can adapt and innovate when faced with unknown threats. We need humans, Vex spoke up. This is why the Council approved the alliance so quickly. Your victory in the arena proved that humans have value. But the threat of the Void Fleet makes the alliance necessary. Lisa felt the weight of this new information. Earth was not just gaining an ally. Earth was entering a much larger and more dangerous situation. But running away was not an option. If the Void Fleet was coming, humanity needed to be prepared, and having the Crithion as allies would be crucial. How much time do we have? Lisa asked. Kresh manipulated the display showing projections. Based on their last known position and estimated speed, we calculate they will reach the border between our territories in approximately 6 months. Maybe less. Then we have no time to waste. Lisa stood up, ignoring the protest from her ribs. We need to move quickly. I will return to Earth immediately and present the alliance to my government. They need to understand both the opportunity and the threat. Thrace nodded. Agreed. I will send a diplomatic ship with you. We should present a united front to your leaders. I want to go too, Dravik said suddenly. Everyone turned to look at him. Commander Grant may need protection, and I want to see Earth. I want to understand humans better. Lisa looked up at the massive warrior. Having a Crithion champion accompany her to Earth would certainly make an impression. It would show that the alliance was real, that former enemies could become friends. I think that is an excellent idea, she said. Thrace agreed. Very well. Dravik will accompany Commander Grant to Earth as both guard and ambassador. This is good. It shows trust. The meeting continued for several more hours. They discussed details of the alliance, military cooperation, trade agreements, and how to share information about the Void Fleet. Lisa's head was spinning by the end of it, but she felt hopeful. This alliance could work. It could save both their species. That night, Lisa stood in the observation deck looking out at the stars. Dravik joined her, his heavy footsteps announcing his presence. You are thinking about your home, he said. It was not a question. Yes, I am thinking about my daughter. Katie. She is only 7 years old. I have been away from her for so long. Lisa's voice caught slightly. I wonder if she will even recognize me when I return. Children remember their parents, Dravik said, even after long absences. The bond is strong. Lisa looked up at him. Do you have children? I did, a son. He died in battle 3 cycles ago. He was a good warrior. Dravik's voice was heavy with old pain. I understand why you fight so hard, Commander. You fight not just for yourself, but for those who come after, for the future. I am sorry for your loss, Lisa said quietly. It is the Crithion way. Warriors die in battle, but perhaps there is another way. Perhaps the alliance with humans will show us that way. Dravik looked out at the stars. I have spent my life fighting, training to fight, preparing for the next battle. But maybe there is more to life than fighting. There is, Lisa said. There is family. There is art and music and stories. There is laughter and joy. There is building things instead of destroying them. That is what humans fight for. Not for the sake of fighting, but to protect those other things. Dravik was quiet for a long moment. I would like to learn about these things. When we reach Earth, will you show me? Lisa smiled. I would be honored to. They stood together in comfortable silence, watching the stars. 2 beings from different worlds, former enemies, now friends. It was a small thing, perhaps. 1 human and 1 Crithion standing together. But small things could grow into big things. Small friendships could grow into lasting alliances. Tomorrow they would begin the journey to Earth. Tomorrow the real work would begin. But tonight Lisa allowed herself to feel hope. Hope that despite the coming threat, despite all the challenges ahead, humanity and the Crithion could build something good together. The stars shone bright in the darkness. And somewhere out there among all those distant lights, Earth waited. Home waited. Katie waited. Lisa was finally going home, and she was bringing a new future with her. Lisa woke up in a bed that was too large for her. Everything smelled strange, like metal and chemicals mixed together. Machines beeped steadily beside her, showing information she could not read. The symbols were Crithion, not human. Her whole body ached with a deep pain that went all the way to her bones. A movement to her left made her turn her head slowly. A Crithion stood there, smaller than the warriors she had seen before. This one wore white coverings and had gentler eyes. A doctor, Lisa realized. "You are awake," the doctor said. The translator in Lisa's ear changed the words to English. "This is good. You were badly hurt. 3 ribs broken. Your shoulder needed many stitches to close. Your body lost too much water. Many muscles were torn. You have bruises covering most of your skin." Lisa's throat felt dry. "How long have I been here?" 2 days. "We kept you sleeping so your body could heal." The doctor touched something on a machine connected to Lisa's arm. "Your body heals strangely. Faster than we expected, but in a chaotic way. Your immune system seems to fight itself as much as it repairs damage." "That is normal for humans," Lisa said. Her voice sounded weak. The doctor made notes on a device. "Interesting. Very inefficient, but interesting." The doctor paused and looked at her. "The warlord wants to speak with you. Are you strong enough?" Lisa tried to sit up. Pain shot through her ribs like knives. She gasped and lay back down. "Do I have a choice?" "Yes, actually. The warlord ordered that you are to be treated as an honored guest. You may rest as long as you need." "Your status has changed very much," that surprised Lisa. "What about Dravik? The champion?" "He lives." "He woke yesterday. His body is healing well. His pride is hurt more than his body, I think." The doctor paused. "He has asked to see you too when you are ready." Before Lisa could respond, the door opened. Warlord Thrace entered the room. The doctor quickly bowed and moved to the side, giving the warlord space. Thrace walked slowly to Lisa's bed. In the bright lights of the medical room, she could see more details. Old scars covered his body. His scales looked worn in places. His eyes, which had seemed so cold before, now looked different. There was respect in them. "Commander Grant," Thrace said formally, "you have done something I thought was impossible. You have made the Crithion reconsider what we thought we knew about humanity." Lisa met his eyes, refusing to show weakness even though she was lying in a hospital bed. "Does that mean you will listen to our peace proposal?" Thrace's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. "We will do more than listen. The Council has voted. Your victory in the arena has earned humanity a place at our war table, not as weaker beings asking for mercy, but as equals. Because I want to fight? Because you showed us that strength has many forms." Thrace moved closer. His voice became quieter. "The Crithion have conquered 17 star systems. We have fought countless species. All of them fought the same way we do. Strength against strength, armor against armor. When they could not match us physically, they died." He gestured at the machines monitoring her. "Your species is physically weaker than ours in almost every way. You should have died in the first minute of combat. By all logic, you should not have survived. But you did. You adapted. You used tactics we had never seen before. You turned your weakness into strategy." Thrace's eyes seemed to glow slightly. "That is not weakness, Commander. That is a different kind of strength. A kind we have rarely encountered. And it is the kind of strength that makes you dangerous, not as enemies but as potential allies." Lisa thought about this carefully. So the whole thing was a test. "Not at first. I truly believed Dravik would kill you quickly. I planned to use your death as justification to attack Earth." Thrace's honesty was surprising. "But you changed everything. The Council watched you fight. They saw something they needed to see. They saw that there are species in this galaxy who can challenge us not through being bigger or stronger, but through refusing to give up, through thinking in new ways. Humans have always been good at that," Lisa said quietly. She thought of Earth's history. All the times humans had faced enemies that should have destroyed them. All the times they had won anyway through pure determination. If that is the human way, then we want humans as friends, not enemies. Thrace straightened to his full height. "Rest now, Commander. Heal your body. When you are ready, we will begin real negotiations for peace. And Commander, I want you to know something. The Crithion do not give respect easily. You have earned not just our respect but our friendship. That is a gift we offer to very few." After Thrace left, Lisa lay quietly, trying to process everything. She had come to this ship expecting to die. Instead, she had somehow changed the entire relationship between two species. She had turned humanity's greatest weakness into its greatest strength. The doctor returned with medicine. You should sleep more. Your body needs rest to heal properly. Wait, Lisa said. You mentioned that Dravik wants to see me. Why would he want that? The doctor's expression was hard to read, but there might have been amusement there. In Crithion culture, there is no greater honor than being defeated by a worthy opponent. You did not just beat Dravik, Commander. You did what everyone thought was impossible. To our people, you have become a legend. Lisa closed her eyes as the medicine began to work. Her last thought before sleep took her was of Katie, her little girl with the bright smile. Maybe Lisa would actually make it home. Maybe she would get to watch Katie grow up after all. Maybe she had helped create a future where humans and Crithion could work together instead of killing each other. The next time Lisa woke, she felt stronger. The pain was still there, but more manageable. She could sit up without feeling like her ribs were going to break. A nurse brought her food. It looked strange, but it tasted decent enough. Lisa ate slowly, building back her strength. On the third day, she felt well enough to stand. The nurse helped her walk around the medical room, testing her legs. Everything hurt, but everything worked. Lisa was healing. On the fourth day, the door opened and Dravik entered. Lisa tensed instinctively. The last time she had seen him, she had been choking him unconscious on the arena floor. But Dravik did not look angry. He walked with a limp now, his damaged knee not fully healed, but he carried himself with dignity. Commander Grant, he said, his deep voice filling the room. I am pleased to see you recovering well. Thank you, Lisa said carefully. I am glad you survived. I did not want to kill you, I know. You could have. When I was unconscious, you could have finished me. But you did not. Dravik moved closer. That shows honor. That shows you are a true warrior, not just a killer. He sat down on a chair that was designed for Crithion size. Even sitting, he was taller than Lisa standing. I have fought in the arena for 10 cycles. I have defeated every challenger. Some were strong. Some were skilled. But none were like you. I just did what I had to do to survive, Lisa said. No. You did more than survive. You thought. You planned. You used everything available to you, even the sand beneath our feet. Dravik's mandibles clicked. I have been thinking about our fight, analyzing every moment. Do you know what I realized? Lisa shook her head. I was fighting the wrong battle. I was trying to overpower you. That is how Crithion fight. We use our strength, our armor, our size. But you were not fighting that battle. You were fighting a different battle entirely, one where those advantages did not matter. Dravik leaned forward. That is what makes humans dangerous. You do not fight the battle your enemy wants. You change the rules. You make it a game you can win. We have had to, Lisa said. Humans are not the strongest species on our own planet. We survived by being smarter, by working together, by never giving up. And now you are in the stars, facing species much stronger than you. But you will survive here too, I think, because you will always find a way. Dravik stood. I came here to tell you something, Commander. I have asked the Warlord for permission to serve as your personal guard during the peace negotiations. I want to learn more about humans, about how you think, about your fighting philosophy. Lisa was surprised. You want to guard me? But I defeated you. Exactly. You are the only being who has ever defeated me. That makes you worthy of my respect, of my service. Dravik placed one hand over his chest. It would be an honor to stand beside you. Lisa felt emotion rising in her chest. This creature had tried to kill her. Now he wanted to protect her. It was strange, but it was also beautiful in a way. It showed that even between very different species, respect and friendship could grow. I would be honored to have you as my guard, Lisa said. Dravik nodded. Then it is settled. When you are well enough to leave this room, I will be outside your door. No harm will come to you while I draw breath. After Dravik left, Lisa sat quietly. She thought about everything that had happened. She had entered that arena as a desperate human, outmatched and outgunned. She had left as something more, a symbol of what her species could achieve. The doctor returned that evening with better news. Your body is healing faster now. The broken ribs are knitting together well. The shoulder wound shows no infection. I believe you can leave the medical bay tomorrow. Thank you, Lisa said. You have taken good care of me. It is my duty, but also my honor. You are a legend now among our people, Commander Grant. The human who defeated the undefeatable. That story will be told for Dravik moved faster than Lisa thought possible for something so large. One moment he was across the arena, the next he was right in front of her. His upper right arm swung in a wide arc, claws extended aiming for her head. Lisa dropped low and rolled to the side. Sand sprayed up around her as she moved. The crowd made sounds of disapproval. They wanted to see blood, not dodging. Lisa came up in a crouch as Dravik turned. He was already adjusting, learning her patterns. His lower left arm shot out like a striking snake. Lisa twisted her body, but she was not quite fast enough. His claws raked across her shoulder, tearing through her uniform and into flesh. Hot pain exploded through her arm. Blood ran down her sleeve, bright red against the tan fabric. The crowd roared their approval at the sight of it. Lisa backed away, putting distance between them. Her shoulder burned with every movement. She could feel blood soaking into her uniform. The wound was not deep enough to be fatal, but it was a reminder of how easily Dravik could hurt her. One good hit and this fight would be over. Dravik advanced slowly now. He was confident, certain of his victory. He had drawn first blood. In his mind, the pattern was set. He would attack, she would retreat, and eventually she would tire and make a mistake. Then he would finish her. Lisa needed to break that pattern. She needed to surprise him. Dravik lunged again, both of his right arms sweeping toward her in coordinated strikes. Instead of backing away, Lisa moved forward. She stepped inside his reach, too close for those long arms to generate full power. Her fist drove upward into his torso, aiming for where she hoped his vulnerable organs were located. Her knuckles hit scale and muscle that felt like hitting a concrete wall. Pain shot up her arm. But she had made contact. She had shown him she was willing to attack, not just defend. Dravik's mandibles clicked. Was that amusement? One of his lower arms grabbed her around the waist and lifted her off the ground as if she weighed nothing. He raised her high above his head, preparing to slam her down into the arena floor with enough force to break bones. Lisa's hands shot up toward his face. Her fingers found the softer tissue around his eyes. She drove her thumbs toward his eye sockets, pushing as hard as she could. It was a dirty move, something that would never be allowed in a fair fight. But this was not about being fair. This was about survival, Dravik roared. It was the first real sound he had made since entering the arena. His grip on her waist loosened just enough. Lisa twisted her body, using the momentum to break free. She fell hard onto the sand, rolling to absorb the impact. Her wounded shoulder screamed in protest. When she looked up, she saw green blood on Dravik's face near his left eye. Her thumb had found purchase, had actually hurt him. The crowd had grown quieter. This was not normal. The champion did not bleed. The champion did not roar in pain. Dravik touched his face with one hand. He looked at the green blood on his claws. Something changed in his posture. The casual confidence disappeared. Now he was taking her seriously. Now he understood she was not like the others he had fought. The arena master's voice boomed across the sand. First blood to the human. The champion bleeds. Lisa forced herself to stand, ignoring the pain in her shoulder and the new aches from her fall. She had hurt him. That meant he could be hurt. That meant she had a chance, but she was already tiring. The heat, the blood loss, the adrenaline coursing through her system. All of it was taking a toll. And Dravik was barely breathing hard. His species had evolved for this. Long, brutal fights. They had the stamina for it. Humans did not. Dravik charged again, but this time there was fury behind it. His attacks came faster, harder. All four arms worked in concert, striking from multiple angles. Lisa dodged and weaved, ducking under swings, jumping back from grabs. She let him tire himself out, let his anger make him careless. Every movement hurt. Her shoulder was on fire. Sweat poured down her face, mixing with blood and sand. Her legs were starting to feel heavy. But she kept moving, kept watching his patterns. She noticed that his upper arms favored wide, powerful swings. His lower arms went for grabs and holds, trying to control her. He protected his head well, but left his lower body more exposed. Probably because most opponents could not get past those four deadly arms to strike his legs. Lisa waited for her opening. A lower arm shot out to grab her. Instead of dodging, she caught it with both hands. She used his own momentum against him, redirecting the force and pivoting her whole body into a kick aimed at his knee joint. She felt something crack. Dravik stumbled, his roar now containing a clear note of pain. One leg buckled slightly under his weight. The crowd was standing now. Their voices created a deafening roar of shock and excitement. This was not supposed to happen. The champion was not supposed to be injured. Lisa did not give him time to recover. She pressed forward, staying mobile, striking whenever she saw an opening. A punch to a nerve cluster on his inner arm, another kick to the damaged knee, a strike to his lower ribs. Nothing was doing major damage, but she was accumulating points. She was wearing him down. But she was wearing down too. Her knuckles were raw and bleeding from hitting his armored hide. Her broken skin burned with sweat and sand. Every breath felt like fire in her lungs. Her vision was starting to swim at the edges, and Dravik was learning. Despite his rage, despite his injuries, he was adapting to her tactics. His defenses tightened. His attacks became more measured. He stopped letting his anger control him. This could not become a war of endurance. In a long fight, his superior strength and natural armor would win. Lisa needed to end this. She needed a finishing move. She circled him slowly, looking for weaknesses. His damaged knee was obvious. His left eye was still partially closed from her earlier attack. His breathing was heavy now, labored, but he was still dangerous, still capable of killing her with one good hit. Lisa's body was reaching its limits. She could feel it. The edges of her vision were getting darker. Her legs trembled with exhaustion. Blood loss was making her lightheaded. She had minutes at best before her body simply gave out. She needed to think. What resources did she have? The sun beating down on them. The sand beneath their feet. Her own failing strength, and Dravik's pride. An idea formed in her mind. It was desperate. It was risky. But she was out of options. Lisa stopped circling. She stood still and let her shoulders slump. She swayed on her feet, not having to fake much of it. She was exhausted. "I cannot do this," she said, loud enough for her voice to carry. "I cannot beat you." Dravik paused, surprised. The crowd murmured in disappointment. "You submit?" Dravik asked. His voice was rough with pain and effort. Lisa nodded slowly. She dropped to one knee in the sand. "You were right. I am not strong enough." "You win." She heard the crowd's reaction. They sounded disappointed. They had wanted to see her fight to the end. But Dravik's stance relaxed. He believed her. He approached slowly, confidently. He stood directly in front of her now, close enough that she could count the scars on his chest. "You fought with honor, human," Dravik said. He raised his upper right arm, claws extended. "I will make your death quick." This was it. One chance. One moment Lisa's hand plunged into the sand. Her fingers closed around hot grains that had been baking under the sun for hours. In one fluid motion, she surged upward and threw the sand directly into Dravik's eyes and open mouth. He roared and stumbled backward. All four arms went to his face instinctively, trying to clear his vision. Lisa did not hesitate. She launched herself at his damaged knee, driving her shoulder into it with every ounce of strength she had left. The joint gave way completely. Dravik crashed to the ground like a falling tree. The impact shook the arena floor. His roar of pain echoed off the walls. Lisa scrambled up his body, using his thrashing limbs as handholds. One arm caught her in the ribs, and she felt something crack. Lightning bolts of pain shot through her chest. But she kept climbing. She reached his upper back and wrapped her arms around his thick neck. She squeezed with everything she had, trying to cut off blood flow to his brain. It was a technique that worked on humans. She prayed it would work on Crithion too. Dravik thrashed wildly, trying to throw her off. His superior strength meant he would eventually succeed. But Lisa held on. She held on with the determination of someone who had nothing left to lose. She held on for Katie, for Earth, for every human who would die if she failed here. Dravik's struggles became weaker. His roars faded to gasps. And then, slowly, his massive body went still. Lisa held the choke for 10 more seconds, terrified it was a trick. Then she released her grip and rolled off him. She hit the sand hard and could not move, could not even think. She just lay there gasping for air, her body screaming in pain. The arena was silent. Then the arena master's voice rang out. "The champion has fallen. The human is victorious." The crowd exploded in sound. Lisa barely heard it. Medics rushed onto the sand. She watched through blurred vision as they checked Dravik. One of them looked up and nodded. He was alive, thank God, Lisa thought. She had not wanted to kill him. Other medics approached her. Lisa waved them away weakly. She forced her battered body to move, forced herself to stand on shaking legs, forced herself to walk. She left that arena on her own feet like a warrior should. Lisa stood in the large metal room aboard the alien warship. Her hands hung at her sides, empty and useless. The aliens had taken everything from her when they captured her small ship 3 days ago. Her weapon, her tools, even her jacket. She wore only her basic uniform now, and it felt like standing naked before these creatures. The room was filled with Crytheon warriors. Each one stood taller than any human she had ever seen. Their skin looked like dark armor, covered in scales and ridges. They had 4 arms instead of 2, and their eyes were black and cold. When they looked at her, Lisa felt like prey being watched by predators. The leader sat on a raised platform at the far end of the room. His name was Warlord Thrace, and he was even larger than the others. Scars covered his face and arms, proof of countless battles. He leaned forward, studying her with those dark eyes. Lisa had come here to talk about peace. Earth needed to stop the fighting along the border. Too many ships had been destroyed. Too many people had died. Her government sent her to negotiate, to find a way for both species to live without war. But the Crytheon did not seem interested in her words. Thrace spoke, his voice deep and rough. The translator device in her ear changed his words to English. You say your people want peace. You come here with soft words and empty hands. The Crytheon do not understand this. We respect only strength. We respect only warriors. Lisa forced herself to stand straight to meet his eyes without fear. My people are warriors, but we believe that true strength means knowing when not to fight. We seek a way forward that benefits both our species. Several of the warriors around the room made harsh sounds. Lisa realized they were laughing at her. Her face grew hot, but she kept her expression calm. Thrace raised one of his 4 hands and the room fell silent. Your words are interesting, human. But words are cheap. Actions prove worth. He stood up, his massive form casting a shadow across half the room. Our laws are old. They give you a choice. Prove your strength in the arena of judgment. If you survive, we will listen to what you have to say. Lisa felt her stomach drop. And if I refuse? Then you die here now, and we will consider your refusal an insult, an act of war. Thrace's mandibles clicked together. Your government sent one person to speak for your entire species. That person must be worthy, or your species is not worthy. The weight of millions of lives pressed down on Lisa's shoulders. If she refused, if she died here, Earth would face a war it could not win. The Crytheon had more ships, more weapons, more warriors. Humanity was still young in the stars, still learning how to survive out here. She thought of her daughter Katie, only 7 years old. Brown hair and bright eyes and a laugh that made everything feel better. Katie was safe on Earth living with Lisa's sister. Did Katie think about her mother often? Would she remember Lisa's face if she never came home? Lisa took a deep breath. What are the rules of this arena? Thrace seemed pleased by her question. Single combat. You will fight our champion. His name is Drevik. He has never been defeated. No weapons are allowed, no armor. You fight with your body alone. The fight ends when one fighter cannot continue or when one fighter dies. How many have survived fighting your champion? In 300 cycles, none have left the arena alive. The room erupted in harsh sounds of approval. The warriors were excited, eager to watch another weak alien die for their entertainment. Lisa closed her eyes for a moment, gathering her courage. She had been a soldier for 12 years. She had fought in 3 different war zones. She had survived things that killed stronger people. But this was different. This was impossible, yet she had no choice. I accept your challenge, Lisa said quietly. Thrace stood and raised all 4 arms. The human accepts. The arena will open at dawn. Take her to the holding cells. Let her prepare for her death. 2 guards came forward. They were gentler than Lisa expected, guiding her rather than dragging her. They walked through long corridors filled with aliens who stopped to stare at her. Word was spreading fast. The weak human was going to fight the champion. They wanted to see the show. The cell they put her in was small but clean. A flat bed, a water dispenser, and 1 window. Lisa walked to the window and looked down. Below, she could see the arena. It was a huge circle of sand, surrounded by thousands of seats. Dark stains marked the sand in places. Blood from previous fighters, Lisa realized. Her blood would join those stains tomorrow. She sat on the bed and forced herself to think clearly. Panic would not help. Fear would not save her. She needed to approach this like any mission. Study the enemy. Find weaknesses. Make a plan. What did she know about the Crytheon? They were strong, much stronger than humans. Their bodies were naturally armored with thick scales. They had 4 arms, which meant they could attack from multiple angles at once. They had evolved as predators on a harsh world built for combat. What advantages did she have? She was smaller, which meant she was faster. She was human, which meant she could think in ways they might not expect. Humans had not conquered Earth through strength. They had done it through intelligence, through adaptability, through sheer stubborn refusal to quit. Lisa spent the night in meditation. She slowed her breathing, centered her mind, prepared her body. She thought of every fight she had ever been in, every technique she had learned. She thought of growing up in the poor neighborhoods of Detroit, where knowing how to fight meant the difference between safety and danger. She thought of her military training, the grueling hours of hand-to-hand combat practice. She thought of Katie and promised herself she would find a way home. When dawn came, the guards arrived. They said nothing as they led her through the corridors. The crowds had grown larger, filling every space, all eager to watch. Lisa heard their harsh voices, their excitement. To them, she was already dead. This was just entertainment. The arena was even larger up close. The sand felt hot under her bare feet. The sun beat down from above. Thousands of aliens surrounded her, their voices creating a wall of sound. Across the arena, a gate opened. Dravik walked out, and Lisa understood why no one had ever survived fighting him. He stood nearly 9 feet tall. Muscles bulged beneath his scaled skin. Each of his 4 arms ended in claws that looked sharp enough to cut through metal. Scars covered his body, but they were the scars of a winner, not a loser. His eyes found her across the sand. There was no hatred in that gaze, no anger. Just cold certainty. He had killed hundreds before her. She would be just one more. The arena master raised his arms. The crowd fell silent. The challenge begins when the drums sound. It ends when one fighter falls. Lisa rolled her shoulders, loosened her muscles. This was it. She was about to fight a creature that could tear her apart with ease. She had no weapons, no armor, no help. But she had something Dravik did not expect. She had the human ability to survive against impossible odds. She had the refusal to accept defeat. And she had nothing left to lose. The drums thundered across the arena. Dravik charged forward, and Lisa moved to meet her fate.